Hello and welcome back to my channel, Checks Captures Threats. In today's video will be game 9 of the rapid increase. So we are on 1766 at the minute. We'll go again, hopefully. We have a nice game. It's a German guy who's aborted. So we go again. Very good game. Okay, this one is from UK. So he's going to play e4. Now we're going to play our French defence. So, classic here. Is it going to be an exchange again? No. Now, we could play an aggressive one, which is where they actually, it'll be this, and then there's like this weird line. But I don't really want to play that. So we're going to go immediately with c5. I think he gets a bit too technical there. And I don't really want to do that for the first few games. Now we're going to do some exchanges here. He's going to take here, because if we take, he can take back. Now, what we're going to do there is after this capture, we are going to play knight out here. So, we're going to win this pawn back, unless he plays this bishop move, which obviously will be very weak, because we play this knight move, and then we've got this push. So he's going to play a pin now, which is really trying to add on to this. Now we're just going to play, I think, a nice move here, as we normally play. So, we're going to allow the capture. The only thing is, if we capture here, it's going to be a little bit technical, but he's going to give us a check. Now, I say we block with our knight this way. So, he's getting a bit aggressive so far. But this guy's 11 rating behind me, but that obviously does not mean too much. So, now this could be a good time to capture. The only thing I would say is this knight looks a bit annoying, so we might have to do this first. So we're going to push it away. It's probably just going to go straight back, and we might have a little bit of difficulty on our hands. The only thing I will say is we might play something like this queen. Very strong queen move, actually, by the looks of things, but it just doesn't attack too much. He's going to take our knight, though. I'm expecting this to come in. It doesn't yet. I think we have to capture, though, now. We're kind of limited to, and I'm expecting an rook to move to try and pin. We'll just move out the way and we're going to castle, but we have a very nice queen b6. The only issue is our double pawn here, but we can always try and maybe play it around that, maybe allow it. But he's going to play this knight move now. Obviously the main thing is he's attacking his pawns, so we're going to stop that, but we're probably going to play our queen here. The only thing I will say, yeah, I think it's probably the smartest option here. The only thing is here, after he captures, we have to take back with the pawn. That is the main thing. We can't, because otherwise we take back with the queen, we get this pin. So, we have to take back with the pawn. Not even going to think that for a second, and I'm expecting something like this capture to happen. So, it looks like castling might not be on the cards for us, so we might actually bring our king up to d7, so we can get our rooks connected to each other. So not a very nice opening, already simplified, as we see here. We spent very little time as well, so we're going to have to try and maybe think on the next few moves, maybe what we want to play. I mean, most of them so far have been quite forcing. So, here, we're going to see what he's going to play. I'm expecting something either like a capture or this rook move. The only thing I have with that rook move is I think we could castle. The only thing, I think we could castle now because our rook protects the knight, so we don't get double pawned. So hopefully, but if he captures, I think that's good for us, because that puts our rook in a nice square. So, he's now going to play this move. Now I say we probably have to castle here. Nothing too out of shame there. We thought about that already. So we're thinking under his time. We have a very good centre. That's the main thing. We have the central pawns here. It's just that he has an extra pawn there and there. So we're exactly even. We might be better. They might be better. I'm actually not too sure. He's putting a lot of pressure, though, on this. So now is our chance to have a good think. So now, a move that's immediately struck to me is this knight to g4. Threatening checkmate. So they're going to push this pawn in the way, which then gives us 3 pieces here. So if I show you that, the knight here, so hopefully I don't do anything stupid there. We've got 3 attacking against 3 defending, so we won't actually be able to do it. So we might have to scrap that off. We obviously can't play this because after a capture we lose a piece. And if this is played, I'm just seeing if there's anything we can do, like maybe push, but I don't really like this. Could we push? I don't really like that. So maybe our smartest option here could be something like pushing this pawn. We push this pawn, we can allow this to be a very nice push, and we stop any threats here. And also, just to one up, we also get our queen protecting the knight as well. So, I like this move. The only thing I don't maybe like is we lose a protector, but our pawn's always protecting it, so we're all good there. When we push, actually this, no, that would never happen, and this is alright, but we could try and force a pin actually next move, but I don't really like if this would happen. This looks a little bit risky. He's going to just play it now. Okay, so if we played this, they're going to push, and we're going to go back, and there's going to be another push, and we can come back actually to a very nice square. The only thing is, maybe I don't like if they can get this square here. So I think if we go there, keeping a pin, I think that's going to be very strong. Now my guess is that his next move might be something like this. We can just push. So we're going to play back here. Risky with these there. I'd like to get rid of the bishops, but as I say that, he's going to get rid of it for me. Now, rook or queen. So the queen we double up a huge amount here, but with the rook, that gives us a nice tempo to double up with this rook and keep our queen in the centre, especially blocking stuff like that. So honestly, I think we're going to capture with the rook here. Nothing too silly there. His knight now looks very out of position, which I love about that, so that's going to help us. Now, I say we're going to have to push this pawn here, because we obviously can't capture. So if we push, he obviously can't push. We've got enough protectors, so all good. And that stops the knight coming back. That's the main thing. This knight is now trapped. Knight on the rim is dim. This is a perfect scenario. He has to move this pawn to allow it to come back now. And this is what gives us the tempo to push our rook across. Now, he's going to try and block it. So, we have another dilemma. Do we go across here? But I much prefer, instead, going across to here, ready to push this pawn. So, decisions, because obviously, we're in a bit of a different situation. But what we could do here is pretend like we're doing this, decoying almost, so that when the rook comes across, we can just slide across one, maybe forcing it back. And this is where we can use another rook left. So I like that. So, making sure there's nothing else on, we are good to make the move. Now, I'm expecting there could be something here actually. If I take, there's a check here. I'll be honest, I'm not too worried about not taking it. All I've got to do is stay on the line and protect it. Now, that is a very risky move, I would say, being in line with the king here. But we won't push, because after a take, it just doesn't look too right. We could put our rook on another rook lift here. We're a little bit low on time now. I think when we thought about the time is already there, but I do like this rook move here. So we're going to play it. Now the worst comes to worst, we get this push and we can't do it. We can just come back to actually e6 this time and have a nice little attack with our e-pawn. Okay, so he does that. Now, are we sure that that's going to be the best idea? 99% sure about that. I like it. I think if we go back, we have a chance of going up here, but I don't really like this pawn push there. So we're just going to go across to here. Now, the reason this is also quite nice, in my opinion, is I can move the rook here across. This rook is already in quite a nice position. I feel like there could be something he has with this pawn. I don't really like that too much. But now we're getting really into this sort of attacking position here. Now, if we push, there is a 3 against 2, so we're already going to lose that. We're not even going to contribute to that at all. Can we put the queen here? They're going to have to push, so we could have maybe another push there just to kind of value that into it. So I think we're actually going to try that. I'm going to go a bit aggressive here. So I'm expecting that. Could bring the queen across. Would a trade be what we want? Okay, he's not going to do it anyway, but I probably wouldn't have accepted the trade. Now I say we just push to protect the pawn here. So this knight can come back now, but I'm not too worried about that. The knight was always going to escape, which is where this allows our move. If it does do that, queen to c3. Now he's going to stop that in a way. Now, if we push here and there's a capture, just making sure there's nothing, I don't think there is. So 4 minutes left on the clock for us. We've got to have a little bit more idea of thinking. I don't really want to push this pawn yet. I think we might just have to retreat, or actually go up here. I think we're going to retreat just back down to here, as it's going to allow him to push, but I think we're going to go up one after that, and that might mean that we have to move our bishop out of the way. So as he does that, actually, maybe we go down here, stops this knight coming in, actually, as well, and also protects the pawn again. So about a minute and a half down on time. We've got to kind of fix that. I think our mission now might be to try and get that pawn. If not, we're going to have to maybe have a nice... This could be a nice movement with our bishops, actually. He's going to play a pin on us, but we can just move the king. I want to go this way. Let's not even think about that for any longer. That's just a quick move. We know to move h6 soon, because we don't want to get bankrupt mated. So now he's going to move back. So I say now we kind of play a little bit more positional at the minute, and get our piece. Now I'm expecting something like this. This is where we're going to do our push, and then after something like this we have a nice queen h2 check, which gives him all sorts of trouble. Now he's going to block it again. Very smart there. Now I think we might have to get our rooks involved a bit more now. I actually first think we're going to move this pawn. Let's just make sure there's no bankrupt mate. And I think we might next move something like our queen here, or even just to this position here. Our bishop's not that good compared to their knight. This is why, you would like a knight in this position. So we're going to now play our queen, I think, across here. I'm expecting the rook to come across here any minute, and I think we're going to try and double up now. That's our best aim. I'm expecting maybe even the rook to play there. It's another very good move if he does find that. But that does actually allow a push, so maybe not. And I actually don't expect this rook to move, because it actually gives away this pawn. So about a minute now. We've gained 30 seconds on him, but we are losing time rapidly. So hopefully we can just counter each move. Now I always hate having these sort of positions where we have 3 pieces, defending. We actually have 4 pieces defending our pawn, and it gets a bit too, encountered on one thing. Hopefully this doesn't stay like that, otherwise we might be in a bit of trouble. I actually do think our bishop might have to come back. Maybe I made a mistake there. Maybe not, as he's moved again into a sort of thing here, which I think we could get our rook across now. I think this capture doesn't work, so actually we're going to immediately do that. And we have a very nice move of queen to g5, attacking the rook and attacking checkmate, forcing the rook to one of 2 locations here. Oh, sorry, there. So I'm expecting maybe something like this rook move, because of that. But he's already seen that sort of thing. Now, if we play this here, we're going to have this against us already, which we can't do. So I say we're going to have to kind of get our rook across here now. We're putting a lot less on this piece now, because I don't think it's too much of a worry. We just got to make sure that this doesn't go, this piece. So I think maybe like a queen move, or even a rook move here now actually isn't too bad. But maybe we want to reroute. I don't think so. We can always put that there. I think, could we play this? I don't think that works. I think another rook lift doesn't work. We might just move our rook across 1. Now a knight move here is a little bit annoying. We're just a little bit stuck. But I think a move like this is quite good. It's a bit positional. I think a positional endgame could be a bit struggle-like. But, we've always got to go through stuff we don't always want. So now this is where we could do a nice rook lift real quick. Actually, I'm expecting the knight to now come in. And this is where we can bring our rook in. And queen in, sorry, that's a little bit of a mistake. Now with this, we've just got to be careful. We've got a bishop that's just waiting to be used. Now we could actually try something here now, and I'm kind of willing to try it. I think we're going to have to now. It's going to be risky, but we've got, 30 seconds now. We've gained another 30 seconds on him. So, he's now going to move his knight, should I say. Now we're going to keep that there, and we're going to use this as a bit of a, guide for us here. As after this, we can take back with the queen with a check here, or we could even push. That's going to be an outrageous. No, yes, we can because of this bishop pin. We will be able to kind of, move that queen out the way almost. And we might actually do that as quick as we can. If this takes, there's going to be that. If we capture now, there's a little bit annoying stuff going on. Is there something we're missing? I don't think there is. We're actually going to put our rook across here now. It's getting very technical. One mistake can change everything again. Now he's going to move his knight across. We're going to have to move our rook. Now, do we capture? I think we might have to capture here. Simplify it the littlest bit. What's he going to take with the queen? We're now going to move our rook across. Still about just 20-ish seconds now. So it's getting a little bit more inclined on the time. Really haven't been able to use this bishop. I think this has been a mistake on our end. But we can play this rook move now. That does mean we're going to lose a pawn here. But we might be able to push in advance. So, we're going to try it. We're going to have to try it now. There is nothing to lose almost. Now, the only thing I would say is there is a check down here we've got to be very careful about, actually. That could be our little mistake here almost. Because if we push, we've got the check here we've got to deal with. So we're actually going to have to bring our queen all the way back. That's a real annoyance. Because we wanted to push. This might allow a knight to come back here. But we're actually alright. We can attack the queen, actually. Maybe still get something. Might need to push as quick as we can as well now. So, it's still pretty much even. I think this bishop has got use. And it's going to show its use, I think, in a second. As we're going to just push. We're just going to, whatever happens here. If he captures, we can capture. We've actually got... He's got to be very careful where he puts this queen as well now. As he's going to move, and I think we're just going to capture this here. Maybe capturing was the wrong idea. Maybe pushing forward was the right idea. As he's now going to push. Can we push? I don't think so. So we're going to go back and play a pin. If they go up again, I think we just play this. Okay, so he's going to attack us. We're now going to play a rook move across. We're slowly getting back on time now. We've got 2 on this. I'm expecting this to be pushed. And we're going to bring our queen across here, threatening mate. He's actually not going to do that. And I think we're going to have to put our rook across, which is very irritating. Expecting a push soon. I'm going to move our queen across here. So this knight is almost trapped. And we're going to play a pawn up 1. Now the reason for this is this rook across. Now this check looks very scary, but I think we're just alright to escape it now. As we're now in the minute mark, we're going to take this, but if we take it, we get forked. So I think we're going to get forked anyway. So actually we're going to have to play this. And that's not a nice fork, but he's not going to do it yet. And we're going to have to just capture. It's going to allow this, but he's not going to do it. And we're going to have to come back now. It's very tight for us. I don't think this is going to look good here. So move down here. We're going to go here. Just going to push. I don't think we've got it. We've missed this. As here we're going to play check. Is there something on here maybe? Still. Just maybe. As he's going to play his rook across. Can we play this? I don't think so. Can we play this? I think we're going to try it. It's mate in 1. But there is a check down here. And I think this could be a draw now. And it will be a draw. So, that's our first non-win. That was very tight at the end. I think we was going to lose that. I'm very surprised how we was able to scrape a draw out of that. A very tactical game. That's very poor in the end from all of us. I think that was a bit of a hectic end game. That's 50% almost. So here, just quickly go through. We had many mistakes in the opening. For white actually, so maybe having a bit of a poor game I was. This was already a mistake, as there was a fork, they're saying, that I missed, and it was knight to here, and I thought I missed. I thought I even saw it, which is annoying. And they even allowed it again, and this time was even worse of a fork that I missed. It's just as simple. So, not seeing stuff on this, but we're still winning. That was a blunder. So, nothing really bad too much yet. This was kind of just even all throughout. We just keep going through it. Nothing changes drastically here. Now, there's a little mistake here they have. It was taking was the right idea. They wanted me to just go all the way back. And then there was absolute hectic on from here because it was both on a minute. There was not a good move for me. This was even worse because they missed a fork. I missed a very, very good move there. Should have captured the pawn. Still missed it. And this is just where it gets... Oh, my God. It gets to a point where you miss a mate in 3. So we could have won the game almost here. And we just miss it. And in the end, we get to here, which actually they are technically winning in this position. But he wants to go for the draw in the end. So I think just due to low time. Now, that is it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Little bit of a messy game there, I think, at the end with the time pressure. I just couldn't see anything. But that's something we got to work on. So we actually did lose 1 point in that. So now we're just back down to 1766. Sorry, 1765. So it was 1766. So, thank you and bye-bye.